Hey, we are back with the official season 2 premiere of Death Unto Madness. And we have a new face today. So I think we talked about. Did we talk about Alyssa when we did the session last? I don't think we did. I don't know if that came up yet. We may have. But anyway, so Maria is more busy than even she thought she was going to be. And so we're going to be. Alyssa's going to be joining us as a full-time cast member as we jump into season 2 here. She's not going to be replacing Ophelia. She's not going to be playing Ophelia. Ophelia's still going to be around, still going to be doing stuff in the background. I texted Maria just today and asked her what Ophelia's going to be up to. So Ophelia's still going to be doing things. She's in charge of the kingdom after all. But season 2 is going to kind of zoom, maybe go down a level, let Ophelia do her highfalutin stuff on top while she runs the kingdom, and we'll pick up with all of her retinue and beyond to see what's happening in Sinia from the eyes of Ophelia's advisors and relations, as it were. So yeah, I feel Maria may be joining us sporadically as she is possibly free to join us for a cameo or whatnot. But for now, we have Alyssa playing Maya. And I think, are you guys pretty much caught up on, we kind of did a little bit of a recap last time on what was happening. Right. Ophelia's in charge of the city. She has a weird fertility cult that she's transformed her dead god cult into. They're the only people who can have children in the city. Because the priests of Aratos did some sort of curse that made all the women barren. And y'all are basically, Alpheus is her advisor, Cyrillus is her consort and bodyguard. Avra is part of her inner council, as well as obviously being her sister. And Alyssa's going to be playing a new player in this political game. And I think we'll go ahead and start, if this is the premiere of season 2 and we see, we fade in on whatever the first kind of prologue scene is. We see I'm trying to decide if I want to reveal who your husband is immediately or make it a little bit of a surprise. And I think I want to make it a little bit of a surprise.
It's fine.
Yeah. So I think we see an estate of some sort. The way it's filmed, we haven't been here on screen, so we don't know whose estate it might be. We see stables. So we see some servants fitting a horse for some sort of trip. And we see text on the bottom of the screen come up that says 1 year earlier. And we see Maya stepping into the stable with a 11-year-old boy. Maya, what do you look like?
Well, I am played by the very, very beautiful Keira Knightley. Pride and Prejudice, if you don't know who she is. Amazing. So beautiful woman. And she is with her son, Ben Asher, who is a darker skinned boy.
Yes, indeed.
I don't know.
He
if
is played by Mark Anthony Rice, or I don't know how to pronounce that, but that's
he's so cute.
Yeah, cute little dark skinned boy. Yeah.
And yeah, kind of as I'm I think I'm lifting him up onto the horse, right? And I just say, now Ben, remember, we're going away for a while. We need to lay low until it's safe. But do you trust me? Do you trust Mom?
Yeah, of course. I do.
I'm gonna make sure everything's okay.
Mom, I'm scared.
Don't be, son. We'll be okay. Dad's gonna take care of things here, and we're just gonna disappear for a while.
What happened to Grandma?
It's okay, honey. She's no longer with us, but she's with us in our hearts. Okay.
Okay. Where are we going?
We're gonna go to our estate out of town for a while. Just stay low.
Yeah, and in the background we hear some shouts, and we see maybe maybe the way the city is sloped, we see from your vantage point, you can see like down in the city further, and we see some like, common folk with torches and whatnot. We see the riots that Ophelia caused, kind of like taking havoc in the city. And so Ben Asher's like just staring at like that wide-eyed. But yeah,
and just
like a servant comes up to you and basically says like, everything is set to go, my lady.
and right on. And then she like slaps like the horse's like bottom with like Ben and like a servant, like probably like behind him.
Sure. Yeah.
And then like you go on ahead, and then I follow like closely behind.
Yes, you swing on top of a horse, and we probably see a last look over your shoulder, right, as you look at the city of Sinia, the city you were raised in, and you leave it behind for this country estate. And we see you two, along with some servants, ride out of town, right in the midst of this chaos. And as we like pan up from the area, we get an aerial shot of you guys riding out of the city, and we kind of like are panning up, and we see like half the city's on fire and whatnot, right? And then we just see, I think we see Skion like fly by, and then as he flies by, the text like fades into the screen past him, right? And then it says "Death unto Madness," and then we hard cut to the present day. So I think we see a quiet scene, right? It says present day on the bottom of the screen. We see Ophelia sleeping in her bed, and she's just like tossing and turning, and then we just see her eyes open, pretty creepy like her pupils are really dilated.
What? She's blind now, isn't she?
Right. Yeah.
She's red.
That's fair. Yeah. So her eyes are like, this weird. What did we say? Red?
I think so.
Is that what we said?
Well, it's got like blood stains coming out of it. I just listened to all this.
Yeah. I trust your information here. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. And so we see that, and we know she has some sort of weird vision or whatnot. But before we go any farther, and we see Ophelia do stuff, let's do beliefs and instincts and traits and whatnot, and jump into it. Let's go down the list like we usually do. Alpheus. And this would be a time, if you haven't changed anything yet, to look through stuff and change some things around if you want to. But let's go ahead and, what are your beliefs, Alpheus?
Well, this one needs to change. Ophelia cannot become queen. She's already queen.
Yes. So you got to change that first one for sure.
So at this point, Sinia, both my beliefs have to change. So I'm just going to, because my other one is, I believe Sinia needs a new leader, and I'll do whatever it takes to make sure Kelly. That's
both of those are no longer relevant. Yeah.
So at this point,
you probably have some sort of belief.
The country's like in a state of array, right? Disarray.
So honestly, let's do this actually first. So before we do that, one thing we need to know about the current state of affairs is how Sinia is actually doing, and that will depend on the resource cycle roll we make here.
Okay.
For Sinia.
Because I was thinking as the opening scene was occurring about, like, if I heard about this kid like losing his grandma and his mom and now they're refugees, I think if I would be, Alpheus would be very upset, because I think he would be like just having flashbacks to what happened to his town.
Yeah, so that happened very secretively. I don't think anyone knows about it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm assuming some people fled the city though after what happened.
Certainly. Yeah.
So I'm sure
I think one of my beliefs would be, I want to make sure Sinian citizens are protected and taken care of.
Yeah. For sure.
So how would I word that? Is that fine to say it that way?
Yeah. The first part of that is totally fine. We just need to find another, like a concrete step you can take to do that. But let's go ahead and do the resource rolls first.
Oh yeah.
And then you'll have a better idea of maybe what exactly is going wrong. So Maria said that Ophelia would be delegating all the important tasks to people who actually knew what they were doing. Right. So she's like the dictator of the city, but like she would let someone who actually has money and good resources like run the bank and run the economy and stuff. So this is the question is, who does she get to do that? And I think honestly the answer is probably Malekith. because Malekith, I think, is probably the person that, at least of the named NPCs that we have, who is the best with money. Right? He has made a living. So. Yeah, he literally bought himself a government position because he was just so loaded. So I think I'm gonna have Malekith make the roll for the city. Whoa. Rip headphones users.
So all of us.
Yes. Well, and chat. So.
Yes.
Okay, let's look at this, shall we? Malekith has a 8 in resources. Would anyone with a resources skill or a good resource attribute want to help him with this? Such as, I mean, I think Alpheus has a modest amount of resources. Because you certainly can. Otherwise, I think he's going to be making this roll alone.
Where do I think I do have resources.
It's an attribute. Yeah, you have 3 resources.
Is that enough to help him?
Yeah, you can basically just offer him an extra die.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Sure. Yeah. And I figure you would because you beat.
Plus, he's my friend anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. For sure. So, and I think that might be it. Well, Caledon has 2 resources. I think he would offer some help. Caledon's one of the other council members, right? Avra, what about you? Would you offer?
I have 0.
Oh,
but you're in charge now.
No, I forgot.
Or at least partly.
My dad left me with nothing.
Avra got cut off from her father before everything went to crap, and you literally got taxed enough that all your resources went away.
Yeah.
Yeah, you literally got into debt.
Yep.
So that's fun. Honestly, what we should, because I think you had 2 resources, right?
I don't remember.
Because I don't think you would have gotten more than two tax. So the way that the sheet has it set up, I can put in your actual resources and put in the tax at the same time without putting down. Yeah. So Avra, you're gonna have to figure out how you paid those debts in this last year. But I mean, let's be real. Ophelia would just have Malekith make a roll for you.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So we'll have him do both of those, I think. So Malekith is going to go ahead and do a resource roll for the city, or for the kingdom/city, which is basically the kingdom. Let's look at resource tests, shall we? Lifestyle. Opulent royal court. Ob 10. Sounds good. So luckily, Malekith has a awesome trait called Pennywise, which allows him to re-roll all failed dice in a resources test. So he will definitely have some extra dice on this. I think he has some Artha. Doesn't have any Artha on this sheet, but he's probably have at least a couple of fate points. So I'll let him use that. So he gets 2. Oh, you know what he can probably do? Oh yeah, he can totally game this. Let's do the fun way to gain resources in this game. So you can basically generate cash die. So he is gonna, here we go. He is gonna roll an Ob 6 resources test first, with your guys' help, to generate 3 cash die. So we'll see how that goes.
He's causing inflation.
No, he is trying to basically sell assets and things so he can have ready cash.
He's causing
boom,
inflation.
Success. Okay, so he generates 3 cash, which means on this test he has a total of 5 advantages now, because you guys are still helping him and he has the extra 3 cash dice to work with. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll see how much what the deficit is here, whether or not he can make it work. Okay, so 4 dice remaining, 4 ob remaining that he needs to get. So he'll go ahead.
6s.
He did, yeah. So he's gonna go ahead and spend his only 2 fate points to re-roll 3 dice.
Didn't you also say he has the thing where he can re-roll?
Yeah, so I'm gonna have him roll fate first, so just in case he doesn't have to do that. Actually, it would be easier to do the other way around because he can spend fate on extra 6s that he gets from that too. So let's do that first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 extra dice he gets to roll if he uses his trait. So 4 remaining ob, 7 dice. Oh, he still doesn't get it. Okay, perfect. Wow, he even got three sixes and re-rolled them on there, right? Like, because that's what this thing does.
So we're gonna be rich.
Well, he still has failed as of right now. So he needs to.
So he gets to re-roll if he uses both fate. He gets to re-roll what, 6 dice?
Well, so the way that because I did the fate option on here, that they added a new thing where you can automatically spend fate points to roll, which means all those 6s automatically re-rolled. So that's just going to count with what he's already doing. So he doesn't those 3 successes, and then he's going to be rolling 3 extra dice, and he needs 1 success. There's actually a moderate chance here that he won't succeed. So we'll see how this goes.
Thanks.
Oh no. Ooh, that's so bad.
He had so many dice.
He did. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see how many dice he actually had. He had
ones.
13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. He had 26 dice that he ended up rolling on that test, and he didn't get an ob 10. That's so sad.
And he can't re-roll anymore.
No, he can't. Yeah, that's it. He's done everything he can do.
He's fired. We need a new guy to take over the financial aspect of the country.
This is the bad thing, guys. Because you helped him out on that roll, you guys also get taxed when this goes wrong. So
taxed by who? We're in charge.
No, taxes in like it's taxing to you, sort of a thing. Okay.
I'll just be like Nancy Pelosi and dodge all the taxes.
It's, again, not that kind of tax. Let's see. So I have a couple of options here. Okay. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and do this by the book here. Okay. It was luckily for him, it was a routine test. So everybody is only taxed 1 dice. Yeah. Yeah, actually, it would have pretty much only been 1 dice no matter what. Cool. Yeah, so not as bad as it could be, but it also means that you guys, you failed the resource cycle. So everything is starting to break down in Sinia. So go ahead on your sheet there, Chad, where underneath resources, there should be a little bubble that says tax. Go and put a 1 in that. And that's something you'll have to get.
Change mine to a 3.
Am I blind?
Oh wait, I didn't help out with that roll.
No, you did not help out to that roll. No.
I'm not making my debt worse.
You would have negative.
Yeah, exactly.
Where am I looking? Character sheet?
Attributes. And your resources. And then you put a 1 in that tax bubble there.
I think my attributes sheet is
so
out.
not attributes and abilities. Go to character sheet. Yeah, always keep it on that character sheet on the top tab, and then the other tabs are what you're filtering through. So go to stats and skills, and then it should show attributes and the resources.
Oh, I see.
And tax underneath that. Yeah,
I see it.
Yeah, so that's something you'll have to take care of with another resource test. To get rid of as it stands right now. That means basically you have a -1 dice to resources tests. Sam in chat says, "Dude's worse than Cyrillus." Rip for dude's worse than Cyrillus. Oof. Yeah, we would not have wanted Cyrillus to be in charge of the kingdom's money.
No, he did. He might have done better than Malekith. Though.
Malekith rolled 26 dice, so yeah, I don't think.
Imagine actually watching someone roll 26 dice in front of you and them losing. Like,
okay, so lifestyle maintenance obstacles. What happens when you fail this? It's not telling me. Do. Must be for your lifestyle. Yeah, it's not giving me clear indication here of what happens when you fail this. But I guess, given the basic rules of resources, you don't achieve the intent. And so the intent was to maintain the current lifestyle of the city of Sinia. So that failed, which I guess means... I mean, Sinia is in a bad place no matter what. I'm just trying to figure out what exactly like that shakes out to look like. What do you guys think? I'm thinking at the very least, there are a lot of Jagati raids happening on the outskirts, all those villages. So Carusia is in danger, Alpheus. Even though you got to be in charge of the military, and or got to be in charge of the in the inner council and got to push something to send military people to go out and help the outer villages, it just doesn't help because they get worse, right? And now Sinia's military is stretched thin, trying to defend the outer villages, and so the Jagati are just burning crops. It's from all reports, things are really like almost nonsensical out there. Like the Jagati aren't stealing things; they're literally just burning things. And people are really confused as like why they've all suddenly gone mad out there. And yeah, so Sinia's starving, right? We're in a bad position. Someone is going to need to do something by next. Basically, you have a year of life left in Sinia. So over the next arc here, y'all are going to have to figure out like what stuff you can do to set up a win for Sinia next time they have to make that resource cycle. And yeah, basically have an arc's worth of time to do that in. And if Sinia is in bad shape at that point and they fail another resource test, basically I think Sinia just goes into revolt and the government's going to collapse again. And then who knows what's going to happen. Maybe the Jagati will literally invade the city. Or maybe Kyrides will, right? Like basically Sinia is on the point of being vulnerable enough to be taken over by anyone.
And Ophelia can't just use her magical powers to freaking...
Well, she could. Let me do this real quick.
Why can't she just make the Jagati love her like she did everyone else?
I'm going to message Maria. So the resources test totally bombed. Would you try to pray to the gods to save the city from impending starvation? Question mark. We'll see what she says. But yeah, so that's the situation. So knowing that, let's go ahead and jump into beliefs and instincts and traits and whatnot, and you all can move things around if you'd like. So I want to make sure that Sinia's citizens are protected and well taken care of. Therefore, what you gonna do?
Therefore, I think at this point I just need to be. Therefore, I will search for a solution. I don't know. I don't know what to do yet, so I feel like I have to find out.
Search for a solution to the city's starvation problems or something along those lines. Yeah. Yeah, because I think like you'll have to tackle a particular part of the problem.
Because basically it's a military problem, but it's also a citizenry problem because the citizens are still like acting crazy, right?
Yeah, I mean, the main stuff that's happening right now is starvation, impending starvation. The city can't have children normally, right? So that's gonna. I mean, it's not. It's the kind of issue that won't be readily apparent how big of an issue it is until a couple years down the road. But it is a big issue. And then third, Jagati raids. Those are the big three things that are wrong right now.
How do you spell Jagati?
I will pop it in chat for you.
Oh, I almost had it. I put an H after the G. I will search diligently. If I can spell right. Here, America's trying to get rid of all the babies, and our country can't even have any.
Yeah. Therefore, I will search diligently for a solution to the city's starvation problem, Jagati, and our reproductive problems. I would choose one of those to start off with.
I want to fix everything.
So you can have 3 beliefs.
I'm going to okay.
There you go. Just have a different belief about each of those problems.
No, I think the most important one is the starvation problem.
Yeah, basically the city's economy is bunk.
But I do want to. I'm going to have one about the Jagati too.
Sure. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So you're thinking belief 2 will be something about the Jagati.
Yeah.
So like Carusia is in danger.
I hate the Jagati.
Yeah.
And
your other Carusian character also had this belief that they hate the Jagati.
Oh, that guy.
The cannibal assassin. That guy.
Whatever happened with all that?
You got killed, remember?
No, but is that still a thing?
Oh, yes, definitely. Did you not hear me? I mean, it's pretty easy to figure out if you've watched the side story. Did you not hear that I said the Jagati have suddenly gone mad for some reason?
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Yummy.
So, I mean, Avra, that might be something you want to look into. If you hear reports about this, maybe it's related to your father's madness. That might be a thing. Though, I mean, Jagati are dangerous, so I will find a way to defeat them and strengthen our armies. Okay, cool.
Can I say that I will keep my inner circle like my top priority, though? Can that be a belief? Or
belief 3? Yeah. I will keep my inner circle my top priority, and what are you going to do to make that happen? Right, you could do something good for an ally.
Can I just say that I will like, how would I say that if they have a need, that it will trump any of my other, like
that kind of sounds like an instinct more than a belief then. Because if you don't have something clear to go off there, you could just have an instinct be like, if one of
I say that I will keep...
No, you already have this instinct. Always ensure that those I trust are lifted up. There you
go. Okay. Because I feel like that at this point, Alpheus would want to make sure Keladon and Abra are... I don't really know. I don't even know if I've seen Cyrillus since he's become all plagued and weird.
I mean, he's part of the inner circle, so you have seen him. Yeah, he's been around.
Okay.
Whether or not you've talked to him, who knows?
Yeah, I don't want to talk to him.
I mean, you kind of like ratted him out to the kingdom, so.
All right, I'm good.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, so you could definitely fill in that third belief with something specific you'd want to help another player with, but we can find that out in play, right? Like we can figure out like what are Keladon and Avra up to, and what could Alpheus help them with. So yeah, cool. What are your instincts?
I'm just gonna leave them. Oh, read them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I always try to talk my way out of trouble. I always treat others of the lower classes with respect, and I always ensure that those I trust are lifted up.
Cool. And your traits?
Strong-willed, cramped hands, pragmatic, intellectual, competitive, impulsive, broken in, and driven.
Cool. Good stuff. Cyrillus. What about you, buddy?
Hello.
How's our favorite himbo doing?
I'm a mummy.
Yes, kind of true.
So my beliefs, I don't know what to think about Ophelia. I will discover her true intentions. I feel like that one doesn't really work anymore.
You could certainly try to figure out more about Ophelia's true intentions. I mean, she's kind of told you a lot of it. You know what? Actually, I think that's true. I think Ophelia has been pretty straightforward at this point with what she's actually doing. So it's probably less like, I don't know what to think of her. And now you have to figure out, okay, now that I know everything going on with Ophelia, what am I going to do about that? Am I going to help her? Am I going to hinder her?
I feel like I care about myself more than anything. So she is in control and in charge. I feel like I would help her because that would preserve me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Seems right.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, so basically, do you want to
Then-
just have some sort of belief about, like, you know, Ophelia is helping Ophelia is the way I survive, period. And then the second part be something like, I will help Ophelia with the next step of her plan or something like that.
Sounds great.
Because, yeah, she can let you in on that and give you some
Mhm.
things to do.
Okay.
Cool. What about your other beliefs?
I only have two. My third one is, or I guess my second one is, I've been given strange new abilities. I will discover their true potential. I will increase my skill with enchanting. I feel like I keep that.
Yeah, that's definitely something you're still doing. Speaking of that, so I did give you guys all practice cycles.
Okay.
I don't think a whole lot of you actually advanced things. Ophelia advanced a heck ton of things. But that was actually because she was focusing on social skills, and social skills are pretty easy to advance through practice. You, Cyrillus, I think you got an extra point in command. Because I had leftover hours after I gave you the things that you wanted. But you only got one routine for enchanting because apparently sorceress skills take a year for one cycle of them. So basically you spent like 3 hours a day every day for a year and got one routine test on enchanting.
Okay.
Yep. So basically at this point, like, Cyrillus has been like being too careful about this and trying to like practice without actually risking anything. I think after this year, you've come to the conclusion, you know what? The best way to learn is just going to be to fail a bunch. That's the conclusion you've come to. So, yeah.
Perfect.
Yep. Good stuff. You also got a test on doctrine too. So,
Okay.
well, learning doctrine. So,
Right.
cool. You have the enchanting belief, and we can fill in another one when you have something else to go off of. Instincts.
Perfect. Instincts. If I go to an establishment, I will order a drink. Sure. If someone I'm with refuses a drink, I'll try them about it. Sure. Always be suspicious of everyone. I feel like that still works.
So, I mean, seriously, do you go to bars anymore?
No. Are there bars anymore?
There are, but like they aren't doing well. But like, I mean, if you walk into a bar, I mean, no one could stop you, but like, no one would talk to you.
What does he look like right now? All creepy?
I look crusty.
Crusty's a good word. Yeah, covered in like leper wrappings.
Horrible.
Like a mummy.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
You need to have your instinct to look normal again. Believe.
I don't think that'll happen.
I hate the way I look.
So you could. Cyrillus, certainly. Yeah, you could try to have a belief about like getting rid of your disease trait somehow.
Okay.
Certainly. Honestly, Cyrillus, you know what you could try to do? You could try to do an enchantment on an item that is like while you're holding I think this is true. I'll have to look at the rules, but I think like you can make it like when I'm holding this item, I no longer have the disease trait or something like that.
Oh,
that got to be like a beer mug or something.
Yeah. Around with it.
Hey,
sorry.
No, what is it?
I muted Carly. Good. What do you say, Carly?
Oh, Chad just said it's got to be a beer mug or something. I was like, yeah, and he's just constantly walking around with it.
Yeah, flask.
Yeah, I have to remember that Carly and I are on the same mic channel, so if I mute myself to cough, I also mute her, so you can't hear. So,
or like if he doesn't have a beer every 2 hours, he turns back to ugly.
Well.
If he's sober, he's diseased.
Yeah.
What do you want? Leprosy or alcohol poisoning? Your choice.
I mean, one's more fun than the other, I think.
Yeah, so I
That's
feel like that
interesting.
instinct probably has to change. You could definitely have, if someone I am with refuses a drink, then I will chide them about it. That definitely seems still true.
Okay.
But I don't
So
think you go to
what-
establishments enough to justify the first one.
No, yeah, probably not. Okay.
Yeah, always be suspicious of everyone is a great instinct for a bodyguard to have.
Yes. Now I have to think of another.
Honestly, if you can't think of anything else, you could literally just put in always be armed. Right.
I feel like, yeah, that works.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah, and then I could basically, unless I say this person is specifically going up to you, taking all of your weapons, and now you have no weapons, you can just say in any scene, "I have my spear." So
Perfect.
cool. Yeah, go ahead and replace that, and then traits. Oof, you got a few there, bud.
I do. 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I have the veneer of obedience. I'm a drunk. I'm religious. I'm competitive. I'm a speaker of the secret language. For my die traits, I'm unlucky. I'm diseased. I'm lame. For my call on traits, I have an iron stomach, sea legs, and a forked tongue.
Very nice. Good stuff. Avra. What do you got?
So I'm not sure about some of these beliefs because I don't know how much Ophelia will actually be able to help me with things.
Mhm.
But I believe Celadon will be a good king. I will find a way to support his cause under Ophelia's rule. I believe my father was ill by someone else's doing. I will get answers with Celadon and Ophelia's aid.
Mhm.
And I believe the Falconry Club is one way I can make a difference in this city. I will keep the women occupied with games.
Interesting. I'm curious how Avra thinks that actually helps anything.
Just because she's keeping people distracted and not worried.
Right. Yep. That's definitely a noble way to solve this problem. Okay, cool. Yeah. Instincts.
If I have a coughing fit, then I leave the room. I always have my falconry gloves on hand, and if someone speaks ill of Celadon, I will speak well of him in contrast.
Cool.
And then my traits are Your Grace, formalist, religious, competitive, careful, birdie talk, mark of privilege, and driven.
Cool. Awesome. So before we get to Maya's stuff, I think I want to start with an actual scene with Maya quick. Because I think it would be more fun to reveal some of this stuff in an actual scene than it would be to just hear it all in beliefs and instincts and traits and stuff. So let's do this. Maya and Ben Asher come back into town. What does that look like, Maya? You just riding in on the same horses you rode out on?
Yeah, I think this time Maya's probably they're probably walking in, she's leading her horse and then also leading Ben's, and they're kind of slowly walking in. And
the city has changed.
Yeah.
Right? It's just trashed. This part of the city that you probably come in, it used to be not a bad part of town, some sort of artisan district. And there's just homeless people everywhere, various dumpster fires and beggars, and yeah, it's just bad.
Yeah, and I think she looks very sad, and she's also trying to I think she puts a she looks up at Ben, concerned, and just says, "Now Ben, remember what I told you, home looks a little different now, but don't worry, we're gonna make it right."
Yeah, he looks up at you. So what kind of stuff have you been telling Ben over the past year? What have you actually been teaching him and training him with?
I feel like I've been training him in here. Let me look at my stats and skills. I feel like I have,
and a lot of it, I guess just mainly mindset stuff. What do you actually
right? Mindset is that that things are going to be different when we get home, but that mom and dad are going to work on making it better for you.
Yeah.
That you are going to be an important person one day in this town.
Sounds
and
good.
that you have that responsibility, but don't worry, mom and dad are going to help pave the way for you.
Sure. Sounds good. Yeah. So he puts a brave little face on and squeezes your hand. Yeah, and I think he looks decidedly more. What's the word? Not grim, not hard. Serious, I guess, is just the most mild way to put it.
Determined.
Right? Yeah, determined, serious, just like than he was before. He had just a serious little look on his face.
Childhood is gone, sweetheart.
Pretty much, right? Like, and again, he's 12, so it's not like he's like a super little kid. But I think he hasn't quite hit a growth spurt yet, and so he still looks pretty small. But he's definitely just his face has completely changed since that flashback. So cool, yeah. So you lead your horses in, and you make your way to your husband's estate.
Yeah,
sounds good.
And be like, "Are you excited to see Dad?" At the very least.
Yeah, of course. It's been a long time. I miss him.
I do too. Don't worry, we'll be fine. And then we just like keep writing, and I probably have like some like flashbacks of like, oh, that used to be this, and that used to be that, and now it's all like,
yeah, for sure.
So sad.
Yeah, and so you ride up to your husband's estate, and we recognize this estate. It's Malekith's estate. So Maya, you ride in, and Malekith is there to greet you. There to greet his wife. Is there with some servants, and he says, my jungle flower, it has been so long.
And then she like, does like the proper thing where like she goes and like reaches out for his hands and then like kisses him like on the cheek.
Yeah.
And just says, it's so good to see you again. We've missed you. And then she like waves her son over to like join them.
Yeah. And I think what Ben does is he like steps over and like holds out a hand to like shake his father's hand, and Malekith like chuckles to himself. He's like, "Why so serious, Ben?" And then Ben just kind of like straightens up and he says, "Well, Mom told me I was going to be important, and since you're important too, I figured I should show you the proper respect." And he just like smiles and
she
then
like chuckles.
Yeah, and he just takes his son and just like gives him a big bear hug and like twirls him around, and Ben eventually breaks his little serious face and laughs. Yeah, and then he leads you guys in. And Malekith, like, as Ben starts to like go back to his room and like, oh, my stuff, that sort of thing. Malekith like trails behind with you and then says, "Things are very, very bad."
I've heard as much from your letters or from the letters you occasionally send. Figured it was time we came back and finally, well, I can't hide from it forever.
No, you can't. And I can't hide you as much as I would like to. So, how are we telling the city? Are we telling the city, or are we going to let it happen naturally?
She's like, well, I think we should let some rumors spread first before we go public. Nobody even knows about it.
Should I start the spread? Let a servant start talking in a bar?
Yeah, do it. Not that it's me, but just that there's someone.
Of course.
It'll be, we'll reveal it soon enough.
And I think as the servants like go off to do other things, he like takes you and like stops you in the hallway here as like you're alone kind of. And just like turns you towards him, like grabbing your arms gently, and he says, "Maya, it is going to be very dangerous what we're doing."
Well, we can't keep living like this now, can we? And I've thought about it for a whole year now, and
I know.
I won't let what's taken from me be taken from our son. He deserves to be up there.
Yeah, I know. I agree. The Queen is not going to like it, though.
No, but I'm not not trying to make him king. Just
Not yet, anyway.
well, if that opportunity presents itself, surely. You know me, always an opportunist.
That's, of course,
Just like
why I
you.
married you.
That's why I married you. But I think maybe we'll have more luck with Avra.
Yes, I think so. And I have a friend in... I have another friend in Ophelia's inner circle that may be of help as well. We'll have to see
Yes, and I think Gavril is also eager to see what I have to tell him.
Yes, I've heard as much. We'll have to go visit him together.
Yes.
Yeah, and we fade out from the scene there, I think, and let's go ahead and read off your beliefs, instincts, and traits. Maya, who you be?
I'll do whatever it takes to elevate my son into a place of power. I will make my position in the kingdom known to the public. My time with my sisters was stolen from me. I will prove I'm worthy of being their equals. I am Malekith's partner, and I will stand by him no matter what. I will help him keep Sinia afloat. My instincts are, if someone insults my son, I snap back at them. Never back down from a challenge. If I meet a fellow performer, I will give them my assistance.
And traits?
And my traits are colorful, religious, intellectual, competitive, thick skin, mark of privilege, bastard, and glib.
Yeah, so it's revealed to us that Maya is the bastard daughter of Thestios. And she has a son and is coming back to put her son, maybe, in his rightful place as the future prophet king of Sinia.
I mean...
Chad just continues to make eyebrow movements.
I might have to support that.
I have a feeling you might. Cool stuff. So yeah, we see all that. We've been introduced to everyone. So Alpheus, I have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
Did you ever get back in touch with that one informant that you met in the Kyrides quarter, the one that you promised that you would help, like, get some guards to look the other way for him? Or have you forgotten about him completely?
I don't even know who you're talking about. So I'm assuming Alpheus doesn't either.
Yeah.
Wait, what situation was this?
I remember the pomegranate whole thing where you went over to a fruit stand and it was actually a Kyrides informant and you were like, I want to buy a pomegranate, and you talked to him about you trying to get information on Titan.
I honestly don't remember that at all. Actually, I don't remember that.
That's fine.
And what did I tell him? That I would...
Yeah, basically, in exchange for the information, you promised that because you're high up in the city, that you would help, basically let him get away with some corruption by having some guards look the other way for him.
Okay, so I would say I probably forgot about all that.
Okay,
but if I saw him, I would remember.
Yeah, so I don't think you do. Yeah, that was a question because it basically was either this guy has stayed in your contacts and you have gotten, basically that question was, does Alpheus get informed by the fact that Titan is now returned to town or not? And because you never kept up with this dude, we see a short scene of Titan coming back into the city on a Kyrides ship, and you are not informed of it. So we know as the audience, Titan has returned to the city. But Alpheus, because he never kept up with his informant in the Kyrides quarter, doesn't know.
Dang.
Yeah, so we know that he's around. Avra, what stuff have you been doing to try to find out what stuff about your father's madness? Did you still have a belief about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were trying to get answers with Caledon and Ophelia's aid.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, before you tried to find out if it was a natural poison of some sort, and it came out that it wasn't.
Yeah.
What avenue would you take next? I mean, would you literally take the Ophelia, is it magic approach?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so I think Ophelia would probably, let's take a look at her stuff, shall we?
How old was the king when he started going mad?
I feel like it was only maybe a couple of years ago.
Right, but how old was he?
Oh, let's see how old he is / was, because he's dead. He was. Dang, why do I never write these things down? All right. Apparently, I gotta rebuild this. Are you basically just asking, like, was he a certain age, and can I find out if there's just something that happens when you get to a certain age? That
Well, just like, is old age and just like legitimately going senile?
did he
something
literally
she would
just
rule
have
out?
dementia? Yeah.
Yeah. Is it something she would rule out or not before going to? Oh, it was magical.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's some sort of medicine rule of some sort. I'm curious if Ophelia even has anything like that. I guess it would be like anatomy. So I'm curious myself what that might look like, and I'm just quickly recreating Thestios. Thestios' life paths. Oh, there it is. Cool. He was 43,
Oh, okay.
so he actually wasn't that old.
Yeah.
Yeah, dang, wait. 43. He had oof. Okay, I gotta do some calculations here. I can just arbitrarily make him older, like that's fine. But
That means he would have been 13. That's gross.
It's possible.
so
It's possible.
When he had Ophelia, he was 18, which makes sense. But that means when he had Maya, he was 13. Which means he was 9, 12. He was a sergeant in the military. Yeah, so he was a soldier. He's like and so yeah, I think that makes sense. He was probably like a camp worker or something. He was out on a campaign. Yeah, and that's who your mother was. Okay, yeah, I think it's the timeline is still fine. Thestios sowed some wild oats there for a while.
That's really weird when you think about the fact that Malekith is 40.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Malekith is younger than your father, but only by 3
Barely.
years.
Oh, well.
Little creepy. Cool. So, yeah, Ophelia doesn't have anatomy. Okay, I gotta check if...
Wait,
Zoe
and
has-
how old is Ben Asher?
12.
I had him when I was 18.
So you're 30, but how old is the king supposed to be?
He was 43 when he died.
So he had you when he was 13?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yep.
I was trying to put that together.
Pretty gross.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're the king, I guess.
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, Zoe doesn't have anatomy.
What about Keladon? Does he have anything?
I don't think Keladon does either. But someone can make a circles roll to find someone like that. Yeah. So it would probably be another student. So I think Keladon was a student. Yeah, he was. So he can make this circles roll to find another student who was like a doctor. What were Ophelia's life paths? Born noble cultist, yeah. Yeah, because Keladon only has a 2 in this. Has a 2 in circles. But I don't think anyone else was like a student that you know. Yeah, I think this is just him.
Okay, do we actually need to find someone that would know that he wouldn't be going insane at 43, most likely?
You need to know.
Is that not common knowledge?
It's common knowledge enough that like it's a thing that you can grow senile when you grow old. But if you want a concrete answer on it, you're gonna have to find someone who actually knows what they're talking about.
Well, right.
And particularly the symptoms, right? Like whether or
Right.
not his symptoms were natural senility or actual, like something else.
Right. Well, my whole point in asking what his age was to figure out whether or not that's something Avra would rule out as something she needed to research. And I don't think she would. I think she would probably go to magic before she would go to.
If he was only
Maybe
43,
some-
yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. Cool. Yeah, so I think this is Ophelia just making some sort of magic roll. She doesn't have magic wise or whatever. Let's see. She has apostate wise, astrology, cult doctrine, cultist wise, demonology, gods wise, heretical doctrine. Those are all her like weird magic-y sort of things. I don't think any of those really are what you're looking for though. So I think what probably would happen is Ophelia's just gonna pray for you. Right. She's just gonna try to do faith in dead gods to
Lovely.
to get an answer from the dead gods about this for you. So let's do it. Faith in dead gods. Let's see what she needs to roll. Something very high. Most likely. Where's all the magic stuff? Here we go. Guidance is probably what she's rolling. When the way is lost, the priest may ask to know the right path. This prayer can be used in a more metaphorical sense as well. Ooh, actually, it actually might be okay. So you tell me what you want. She could try for guidance, which is only an odd 5. She has a 5 in it, so it's possible, and it would be easier for her to just get a path to go on, right? So like an answer as to like what direction to start looking in.
Right.
Or she could try to roll an ob 7 inspiration faith test, which is a priest may call upon his deity for a revelation or knowledge. This is a dangerous prayer because a divinity knows much and will often reveal that which the priest did not intend to learn. So basically, do you want an answer now, or do you want a path to begin looking for the answer?
I'd say Avra is fed up enough that she just wants an answer.
Okay, yeah.
Even though that
And
might be a horrible
And
decision.
Ophelia loves you enough to try it, so... All right, here we go. So, faith in dead gods. She is going to get her whole cult together. Because she can. I think she has at least a couple of people who have the faithful trait. And so can add their faith to help. So she's going to get 3. She's going to get 5 extra dice from her whole cult helping her.
Nice.
And I think she'll probably spend a fate point to help herself with her corruption, which gives her an extra 2 dice. All right, there we go. She has 2 persona, but I don't think she would spend a persona on this. All right, Ob 7, here we go. Ooh, that's a no.
Dang.
Yeah, so she has plenty of fate, but it automatically open ends, so she can't spend anything on those 6s because they automatically reroll themselves. But she can spend 1 to reroll 1 failed dice, and she has a what is it? A 1 in 12 chance of succeeding because she needs a 6 and then another success. But she has enough fate that it's worth it to try. So here we go. No more dice at all. Okay, so this is going to be fun.
Could she have worked in astrology?
Not into faith, no.
Ah.
Yeah, faith is an attribute. You can't like fork anything into it or help yourself with anything. except for other faith. So, okay. So what happens when you fail this? Bad things.
I'm already sick and infertile. What more can happen?
Where's... Oh, here you go. Miracles aren't that common, and faith tests are more often failed than succeeded. Generally, the end result should be that the pleas of the faithful go unheard by the distant gods. However, the GM is welcome to intercede during a failed faith test. The character has sent forth a powerful call, and perhaps another entity has heard and responded. Perhaps the character has actually angered the deity with his prattle, and the irate god lashes out with a hex or plague. These effects should be sparingly.
Can't have another one of those.
Yeah, I don't think there'd be any reason for that to happen here. It's not climactic enough, right? Like, this is the beginning of a new arc. I don't think the dead gods suddenly just say, Ophelia, you're dumb. We hate you. We're gonna curse your city. So yeah, I think it's basically just you hear no answer. Ophelia has brought the entire cult to bear to try to get this for you, and there's just no answer. And honestly, Ophelia, I think, tells you, like, in her creepy voice, staring into nothing because she's blind, she says, I don't believe the gods want you to know, Ophelia.
Well, I don't care. She doesn't actually say that.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, Ophelia doesn't either, right? It's just like, it's like, fine, we'll go through another avenue. Like, the gods are probably testing us anyway. But yeah, so no answer from the dead gods.
Honestly, that probably only further instills in Avra that the dead gods
are probably responsible for this or something.
Well, either that or they just don't have as much power as Ophelia thinks they do.
Yeah, certainly. Cool. So Avra's been trying to search for this and hasn't been coming up with anything. Cyrillus, let's go to you, shall we? We've been kind of doing mini scenes here, but I think I have something a bit more substantial for you. So Cyrillus, you've been in charge of, basically, you're not like the general of the city. Like, they have actual generals to worry about that, but you're in charge of, again, the royal guard. You've gone back to that position. This time you're in charge, and your main task is to protect Ophelia. So I think you get a well, you know what? Let's actually start with this. So Cyrillus, you this is what you've been doing, right? But you've also been trying to do enchanting stuff. What would be your next step with all that? Like, we talked about maybe making something that could, like, get rid of your disease trait. Like, do you want to? What would, if you finally come to the conclusion after doing 3 hours a day every day for a year and only getting a routine test that you have to just do stuff and then you'll figure it out? What's the first thing Cyrillus would do with that?
Okay. So...
Right, so you know that to get the proper antecedent trait, you have to drink someone's blood. But now Ophelia's in charge of a kingdom, so you can literally just have her, like, arrest people for you.
Anyone's blood.
Pretty much, right?
So, who would be having some good blood?
Who would be having what?
Some good blood.
Some good blood. It really depends on what trait you want, right? Because what you're doing is you're literally drinking the trait from them, or not removing it from them, but like getting power from that trait or whatever.
So I think maybe the trying to the get the item that removes my diseased trait. That's probably something he would do, because I don't know of anything else he would be like something he could, like, specifically work toward.
Yeah.
To use his practice.
Yeah.
I think that works.
Yeah, so the base enchantment effect that you're looking for there is trait transference, because there is a trait called Quixotic, which can remove another trait. And so, but you can't, there isn't something in the rules to just, like, get rid of a trait wholesale, but basically you could enchant an item to give you the trait that, like, negates another trait. And Yeah. Let's see. What would you actually need for that, though? I think you probably need someone with that trait, I assume. Trait must be a part of the antecedent source. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. So you need someone who has the quixotic trait. The weird thing about that trait, so it's literally like a trait that you typically take at character creation to allow you to negate like a life path trait that you've earned, so you don't have to start with it basically.
Okay.
The word itself means exceedingly idealistic, unrealistic, and impractical. So basically you need someone like that to drink blood from.
Okay.
But also, yeah, I'm trying to think of how. Yeah, I'll give it to you. I'm not entirely sure how Cyrillus like knows this or like could figure out why this is the thing to do. But let's say he does. That it doesn't matter that much. You spent a whole year looking at enchanting stuff. So yeah,
Right.
You need to find someone exceedingly idealistic, unrealistic, and impractical. Do we know any people like that?
Okay. Not that I know of.
Yeah, I don't think so. So someone's gonna have to make a circles roll here, I think, to
Wait,
find that person.
Yeah. Who do I know that I'm friends with that has a big best circles?
Probably somebody in the cult. No?
Right.
Maybe someone in the cult. Alpheus has a 2. Honestly, it would probably be Malekith.
You're going to have to go.
I guess Malekith only has a
Okay.
3, but he also has money that he could use to help
Right.
bribe and stuff. Yeah, that
Okay.
seems like the most obvious person to go looking
Mhm.
for.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, is this literally like, I mean, so Malekith is probably regularly a part of the inner circle meetings. Is it just at the inner circle meeting, Cyrillus like takes him aside before everybody leaves and he's just like, hey, gotta find someone for me.
Probably.
Yeah, so we see Mummy Cyrillus with his spear. Like, what do you do? Like, if you grab, like, you're obviously wrapped in bandages and stuff, but it's still probably
Mhm.
impolite to just grab him.
Right.
So,
So
yeah,
I'd
what
just
do
be
you do?
like, Malekith, could you speak to me for a moment?
Yeah, and he's about to leave, and he just turns back and he says, "And you probably haven't talked to this guy in like a year, right?" Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so-
hilarious.
Yeah, and so he's just like frowns. He's just like, yes. What do you want, cohort or consort? I guess he would call you.
So basically, I need a favor. Do you know someone that is kind of crazy, a little wild, doesn't make any sense, unrealistic, very idealistic? Would you happen to know someone like that? Just random question.
Yeah, he just frowns. And he says, "For what reason?"
You know, I've learned that I'm not a good liar. Basically, I want to drink their blood.
Oh my God.
So that
And so he's probably heard
So
some
that
weird
I
stuff
can-
about you, right? Like, but this is still
Right.
like, so he's just like, I'm sorry, drink their blood?
Yeah, so basically I have this kind of power that I got after I met Ophelia. I can enchant things, give me powers, but like I have to drink someone's blood to do it. I don't want to kill them. I just need a little bit of blood.
Right. So Cyrillus, I think you're gonna have to make a roll here because you don't have Malekith as a relationship, right? So you can find him no
Right.
problem because you know where he's gonna be and like whatnot. But you're gonna have to make some sort of roll to convince him like this is a good idea and I should do it for you. Obviously,
Well,
you could always just say like,
Offer him something.
you could always just say like I'm the queen's consort. You have to do what I say. But
I think that's what I have to do.
okay, sounds good. So he looks like sort of uneasy about it, and then you probably just have to remind him like, listen. So yeah, how do you say that?
It's like, okay, so I know this sounds kind of wild, but basically, remember how I'm like above you? So that means you need to do this for me.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll command. By the way, you did advance command, so I think I said that already, but
Oh, wonderful.
yeah, so you're better at it now.
I feel like that's how Seth disciplines the bad kids at school. Well, you know, like I'm your teacher.
That means I'm above
and
you.
I'm above.
Just trying to play Cyrillus how I've basically played him this whole time.
Yep, exactly.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
so what do? I have it open.
It's always fun playing
I-
characters in Burning Wheel that have only negative ways to respond to people. So, yeah. So you're gonna roll command there. You're gonna click on that little D6 next to your command
Yes.
skill.
Do I have any forks?
Intimidation seems like the obvious one.
Okay.
Other than that, I can't think of any on your
Just
on your
one?
list there. Probably.
Okay. Then Artha none. Oh god, this is glitching. Hold on. Okay, so forks 1. Artha none. Give me just a second. This is not being nice on my iPad. Okay, got it. What's the ob?
Ob's gonna be 5 because his will is a little bit stronger than normal.
Okay. Did it go through?
Haven't seen it yet. There it
There
is.
goes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so
that's not too bad
surprising.
still. 3 out of 5, and you've got a 6, so you could spend 2 fate and reroll 2 dice.
Perfect. Sounds great.
Yeah, you got plenty of fate to throw around.
What's the code?
So you should actually be able to go to the top there and click the little fate D6.
Is it on my character?
Yeah, it's right at the top of that stats and skills place. There's a little where it lists your
there
fate
it is.
points.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a little D6 next to it. And you put the remaining ob as 2 and the dice is 2 then.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and switch your fate points.
Cool.
You spent a lot of fate on command, man. For nothing apparently, because yeah, you failed again. Cool.
Hmm.
Okay.
Seems to be a pattern.
Aren't we surprised?
Well, you got another difficult. I just marked that for you. On command there. Yeah. So this is the thing. I'm like, Malekith knows that if he refuses you, eventually Ophelia is going to be like, listen, you have to do this. Because Cyrillus, you could definitely tell
Right.
Ophelia like, I need him to do this, and Ophelia could force him. I'm trying to think of a more interesting response here. That's still like I won't do this, or some complication of that. But like, won't just be
Right.
Cyrillus goes running to Ophelia, and Ophelia fixes the problem for him.
Mm-hmm.
Any ideas, guys?
What would
Malekith-
happen if Cyrillus drank Ophelia's blood?
Oh, there are
I don't
lots
think
of
she's gonna
traits.
let me do that.
She probably wouldn't.
Yeah, but what if you did it? Would you be more powerful than her?
No, there's a
Oh.
lot of traits that he could use to do enchantments, though. Like a bunch of Ophelia's traits would be very useful for those. But yeah.
So he can't just absorb everyone's powers and kill
No,
everyone.
yeah. When he drinks someone's blood, he's specifically targeting one trait of theirs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, Malekith is super creeped out by you, but like he knows at the end of
Just
the day,
tell him
he
you're
knows.
gonna drink his blood. Just threaten him.
But so the issue is he rolled a command and forked in intimidation, so neither of those are really
Oh.
avenues for him anymore. Really, Cyrillus. Yeah, again, I just have to figure out like exactly what, because you could escalate here, but I'm just trying to figure out what Malekith's actual response is.
Mhm.
I think he's going to take a gamble, and he's going to say, Consort, you may have everyone else pretending that you actually have some sway in this kingdom, but I know better than that. You are merely a figurehead, a boy toy, if you will, of Ophelia for her political power, and I don't know if you do anything in the bedroom, but if you do, it's gross, and I don't want to hear anything about it.
True.
And yeah, he basically just gonna try to call your bluff and basically say, like, I don't think you'll actually follow through on this threat. You're not actually higher than me. If I refuse to do this, there is nothing Ophelia can do to me because I am the one who will save this kingdom if anyone will.
That's my husband right there.
Ophelia believes that.
Yeah.
That sounds like a threat, bro. You better go tell Ophelia.
Yeah, so basically he's like trying to call your bluff and
He's
basically saying,
posturing.
go do it. Like, pretend like you're above me. Like, do whatever you need to do. I'm not going to budge.
He's showing all his peacock feathers.
Exactly. Yeah, so Cyrillus, I mean, the main two options I see from here is like you escalate
Kill
right
him.
now and beat him up, right? Or you go to Ophelia and get her to solve your problem.
So you either be a man or go cry to your girlfriend.
What do we think Cyrillus does? He goes and cries.
Yeah, he does. He does.
He uses his bandages to dab his tears.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, you go to Ophelia then?
Yeah.
Ophelia, Malik is not doing what I want him to do. Yeah, so I guess what we see, right, is Ophelia is in whatever royal garden there is here. And she is like in a meditation pose. With like some black orchid tea in front of her. Skion is like on a tree next to her. And she is just like meditating and then alternatively taking sips of this tea to like open her third eye or whatever it is, right? Staring into nothing. And you, I think, assume come in to like talk to her. And what do you say? She's like meditating.
Like, Ophelia, what's up? So you know how I'm working on my enchanting.
Yeah, she says,
basically,
yes, I am aware that you've consistently shown no progress.
Okay, I gained a little bit of progress, not zero, a little bit. But basically, something that could help me gain more progress is this idea that I've come up with, the practice. I want to create a item that makes me not look, that takes away my leprosy whenever I'm holding it. But to do that, I need to find a person that I could drink the blood of that would let me do that. And I'm trying to get Malakath to tell me someone like that. But he told me he would not. So if you would help me, that would be great.
From what I know of Ophelia, this would disgust her. Right? Like, I think she would just be like, are you kidding me? You're that much of a pansy that you can't even get this dude to do anything for you? The issue is...
You got to tell her that he basically said, screw you, Ophelia ain't gonna do nothing to me.
I don't want to kill him because we kind of need him.
Yeah. Yeah, so I honestly think the more I've thought about it, and you know, in between when I said that she would probably fix it for you and now, I feel like she would she would either just refuse outright or she'd try to manipulate something out of you. What I think I really need for you to do is for you to make some sort of roll to convince her of something. Issue is your only two yeah, I know your only two things here are intimidation and command. So
we know that's not.
You could try to roll a skill you don't have.
But tell her to do a drink off with you.
Keep in mind, Ophelia is really she has a low will, so she's actually pretty easy to convince of stuff.
Huh. Okay.
Man, look at this just blanket of failure we have so far here. Just
It's so
much red.
bad.
It's real bad. My life sucks.
Yes, it does. I'm so sorry, Cyrillus. One thing you could do is you could spend a persona to use your corruption in place of a skill. So you could try to convince her with a skill you don't have, spend a persona, and then roll corruption instead.
See, I don't think he would do that.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to die.
That's fair. Listen, you only have a 3 in corruption. What could go wrong?
Right. I don't think he would. I think he...
Yeah, I mean, so would there be any way that Cyrillus would try to get this out of Ophelia? If she just... because basically I think her response is she just gives you like a withering look. Though I guess she's blind, so she doesn't really know exactly where you are, but she just looks disgusted. And she just says, Cyrillus, I don't have any time for your petty complaints.
What if I can make you some time? Do you need anything in particular from me that I can do that I'm regretting asking?
So basically you're trying to like see if there's a bargain that you can make, like you do something for her and she'll do this for you. Yeah, I think that's probably something that can happen here. I'm trying to think of what I know, probably be related to like kill someone for her or something, right? Like that's what you're good at.
Well, if this person has the blood I need,
let's see. Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anyone in the. Ooh, okay, I know what it is. Yeah. So she says, fine, Cyrillus, I'll tell you what. There's a noble who's been pestering me, trying to go back to the old ways. He doesn't understand how this works. I need you to go murder him for me. If you do that, and if everything goes well and there are no complications, then I might consider talking to Malekith for you. But listen, I am not your babysitter, and I do not have time for this, so make it quick.
Yes, ma'am. I'm on it.
Yeah, so we can cut away from the scene after I explain this, but I think the person she wants you to go kill is a guy named Icarius. In a previous lifetime, he was basically considered the handsomest man in the court. Lady killer sort of a thing, right?
Have we seen this guy at all?
You have, yeah. We've seen him briefly on screen during one of the what are they called? Debates or whatever that the men do.
Yeah, that's who I thought it was.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, he's been losing face with this shift, but he's trying to he's trying to push back on Ophelia in some more, political types of ways. Nothing violent or anything, but basically Ophelia's just like, listen, I don't have time for this. Just go murder him and send a message to everybody, please. Thank you. Yeah. So I guess just Cyrillus just grab some men and go off to do this.
I think so. He's like, all right. Because I think in his head, he's like, okay, so this is some more blood I could get for who knows what I can get for it.
Mm-hmm. Certainly.
Cool. Can you get handsomeness from this dude?
Right. I was thinking the same thing.
I think so. Let me actually look at what this guy's traits are.
Can I be crusty and handsome at the same time?
He literally has the character trait handsome.
Just steal that.
So yes, you could trait transference.
Once you get the magical object, then whenever you're holding it, your bandages come off, and people are like, "Is it just me, or is he more handsome than he was before he was diseased?"
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely something that you could, that you'd think through. And that's the thing, there are some traits that these people would have that you wouldn't immediately guess at or know to look for. You can always make rolls to find that out. But also with something like this, everyone knows that this guy's handsome, and so that's something you could definitely automatically know. It exists about this person. I could try to take it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So we see Seerless go off and do that. Alpheus, what do you get up to? What's your like next plan?
I think I need to meet with. Oops. I think I need to meet with whoever our like military generals are or something to figure out. I want to find out what's actually. I want like a debrief of the real situation going on in the outskirts of the. What do we call that? Like just the countryside or?
Yeah, like the
outskirts of Sinia. So
yeah.
I want to know how bad it is, what our military looks like, and what we're up against.
Yeah, sounds good. I think that's a circles roll. Obviously you can just find the dude, but like this is kind of going to depend on how good he is, and whether or not he likes you. So I mean, you could make the roll, but you don't really have a whole lot of. Yeah, you have like villager stuff.
Would this be like an Ophelia appointee?
It would, yeah. Again, like it's not that you can't.
So can I use my reputation and affiliation to help me or no?
Yes, certainly. Yeah, you know what? That actually might be a good plan because what you could do, Alpheus, is you could say, whoever this dude is got promoted by your command or by your suggestion. And maybe this was a dude who like lived in the outskirts somewhere. Right.
Okay.
And you're like, this guy knows what he's talking about, Ophelia. You should hire this dude. That could be what this circles roll means. So yeah, let's get that set up. So, you have a circles of 2. So not super great. You're looking for what exactly? You're looking for.
I want to find out. I just want to, whoever it is, I'm assuming it's a government official.
Yes.
I need to find someone who can tell me, just brief me on what's actually going on out there.
Yeah, and I think part of this role too will be like, how well is he handling it, right? Because like, how good of a guy did you actually hire? So it's not the same life path as you, but it's the same setting. So base ob 3, base ob 4 altogether because this person's lower rank than you. Yeah, so base ob 4. So you have a circles of 2, but I think you can fork in both of your reputations, both your reputation and your affiliation. So you can get 4 extra dice beyond that too, as advantages.
Can I fork in town wise?
So you can't fork anything in
okay.
onto circles.
For
you can
circles
roll a linked test, but honestly, with the town wise at 2, it's pretty slim that you actually get a good linked test to get anything.
All right. So
yeah, I'd say probably just.
What do I need to do?
Circles test. So click on that little D6 next to circles. Put in 4 for the advantages there because reputations and affiliations. And then you have 2 persona, so you could spend a persona on this if you wanted.
This die, click the die.
Yeah, the D6 next
4
to
or 2 in
4.
the first box.
Yeah.
Artha 0.
Okay, and then
base ob
4. Okay, got a 3. No 6s, but you can always spend 1 fate to get 1 reroll there.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, 50-50 chance, basically.
Ob 1?
Yeah, ob 1. Yep. There you go. Perfect. Sweet. That's a routine test on your circles there. So if you want to mark that, and then you can take off that fate from the bubble on the top and put it in that little 3 bubble next to circles there where you've been putting the fate.
So it's 4?
Yeah, it should be 4 now. Yep. You've spent a handful of fate in there. You spent 13 fate on persuasion so far in this game. Cool. So, you succeed. So I think with normally with a circles roll right on the money, we don't really care about the character. He's just gonna kind of like come in and then disappear. And I think that's what we'll do for this guy. His exact name and whatever doesn't matter. What really matters is just Alpheus getting this briefing. So, I think the briefing is, obviously he tells you what you knew from that initial recap that I gave you. So the Jagati are have just gone mad or something and they aren't raiding anymore. They aren't taking anything. Usually they like ride into town, extort the people, and if they give them any trouble, they kill some people and then take the stuff. But now they've just started literally just pillaging. Not even pillaging, just razing everything to the ground, right? Do they just ride in, set things on fire, kill anyone in their way, and then ride away, laughing? And so he's been trying as hard as he can to like keep everything in line, and he's been using Sinian military to help protect places, but they're starting to get stretched thin. They don't have enough food to really like keep up the morale and the fighting spirit and the strength of these men. And so basically he tells you, like, the briefing is like most of the outer town, like the farthest outer towns are just gone. Like when this started happening, there wasn't a whole lot we could do because we weren't out there. But we've managed to basically, so I think on the map here, right, like these towns are just gone. The ones out here, but there's a ring that's been created around this. So these have been safe so far. And there's like a perimeter that's been set up with a couple of armies, Sinian armies that are protecting those towns from invasion. But basically he tells you like we're one mistake away from it all collapsing. Like we're on the knife's edge here.
So if I'm looking at the map right, are there like hills or mountains between the city, the big like capital city, and the towns out there?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's like several mountain passes that they have to go through to get to. And I don't think they're actual mountains. I think they're hills.
But it's still like it's not like a simple trek, or is it? Okay.
No, it's not. And that's part of the issue.
So where those towns are, is that where all the farming and stuff occurs?
Yep.
And I'm trying to be tactical about this.
Yeah, Sinia gets a lot of their subsistence from fishing and trade as well.
So we don't trade with the Coyotes.
You do. You kind
of. What about these other guys?
Setkes is definitely, and Nima are definitely places you trade with.
So maybe I need to call them.
Yeah, I mean, you could try to like Malekith is from those places. He's from Setkes. So you could try to talk to him and get him to like.
So Coyotes still hates us, right?
Coyotes hates you guys, yeah.
But the problem is we're in the mainland. So where did the Jagati come from on the map? Like just way out on the right?
Yeah, all the plains out here, that's where they live. Yeah, they're like think like Mongols, very very Mongol like in the way they're structured.
So Nima's protected by the mountains.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then the other two nations are protected by the water.
Yeah. Yeah, Sydney's really the only people who actually have to deal with these raids. Yeah.
So here's what I'm thinking. I'm like the Queen's advisor, right? Or
one of them, yeah.
But I don't have military power.
You do not.
Okay. But can I here's what I'm thinking. I think I should meet with I'm not near Avra, right?
Yeah, you can be. She's around.
Well, so can I just say that I go to Avra to talk to her after talking to this guy?
Certainly. Yep.
Okay. So I'm with Avra, and Keladon's probably there too.
Yeah.
All right. So here's my idea, Avra. I just spoke with one of our military, what do I call him? Like a informant or something?
He's like the general, basically.
One of our commanders or whoever out on the field. And basically, so I show her a map of like the map that we're looking at.
Yeah.
And I say, right here, where these towns are where the Jagati are going crazy. Now, if we could get these people beyond, closer to the capital, behind the mountains that protect the capital, then we can protect more citizens, because then we can consolidate where our soldiers are and only allow the Jagati in through certain passages in the hills. And so if we do this, we'll lose a lot of our farming capability as a nation. So I'm just telling you what I know and what I think so that we need to make a plan because there's too many people dying. If we just leave them there, we're going to lose what small amount of food production we have anyways. And we're going to lose more soldiers because the military is just spread out there beyond the hills. What do you think? I think maybe we can reach out to the Setkis or Nima to trade something, whatever we can, with them to get food over here until we can figure out how to go from defense to offense against these raiders.
Does Avra have any experience in knowing what to do in these kind of situations?
I don't know. I just don't. I'm not going straight to Ophelia because I feel like maybe that wouldn't be appropriate.
I think Avra just turns to Celadon then.
Yeah, I mean Celadon's obviously interested in what you're saying and understands it. I think his main focus. Let me look at what his actual academic focus is here. His is
because I don't know military either, but I can read a map.
History and law. Yeah, and so he understands what you're saying. And I think he agrees with you. Like he nods and he says, I mean, that sounds like a good plan. The issue is actually pulling it off logistically. And then I think he says the main weak point in that plan is whether or not we have anything to trade. Sinia is a wreck. And ever since the priesthood of Pyrrhus was murdered, our fishing industry has been a wreck as well. The issue with doing this is that we're basically taking away our strongest source of income and subsistence and relying on ones that are failing us at the moment. Kyrides has been continually adding more and more tariffs to any of our tradesmen. What we really need is for something to give them, some reason why they would actually come here and want what we have.
Yeah, I understand. I don't have much experience in this either. What I do think though is do you think it's possible to kind of transplant these farmers and bring them not within the capital, but at least on this side of the mountains to make it harder for the Jagati? I really don't want people to die, and I know you don't either. And there's a lot of problems, Celadon, and I don't have all the answers.
Neither do I, and I agree. It seems like that's the right move if we don't want these people to die. The issue is, he says that's the right move if we don't want people to die. And we do have farms here. There are plenty of places outside of Sinia that they could maybe find work. There's things that we could put them to work doing. The issue is it might not be enough. We need to find some other way to either we need to find some other way to manage what's happening right now. Maybe that's the weak link in this, is that we just haven't been able to manage everything correctly because of the chaos. Or we need to find some new way to get income in the first place.
So, speaking as me, Sinia's main industry is the ocean, right? Fishing and.
I think it's pretty much split more or less evenly between fishing, trade, and agriculture, historically.
So, question:
Mm-hmm.
The women having falcons and doing falconry stuff, that's not just a Sinia thing, right? That's a larger culture thing?
Yeah, I think it's a larger culture thing of the Greekish sort of races here. But I think probably Sinia maybe does it more than others. They have an emphasis on it, maybe.
I don't know what we could sell. I don't know what else. I don't know. Maybe someone else knows what kind of resources are.
I mean, one thing that okay, so I think this is what Caledon says. Actually, he says another thing that we could do is we could take a gamble here and ask one of these places, Setkas and Nima, for military aid, and maybe promise them something in return, land. Maybe we try to churn up some more gold, buy mercenaries. Maybe what we really like. I agree with you either way. We should get the citizens behind the hills, but maybe we do that and then we don't just try to fix it all inwardly. We just immediately take it outward again and try to wipe these Jagati out once and for all. Maybe we.
So I listen to him say all that, and then I say, I don't know. Well, I say, hey, I say, Caledon, do you know, my old friend Malekith?
Yes, he's been at some of the inner council meetings, correct?
Yeah, I think it might be time to contact him. He may have some wisdom that we're lacking right now. Either I agree that military help could be huge, but let's give him let's send for him or go meet him and see what he has to say. What do you think?
Caledon nods, and I think honestly, we should take a break quick. But when we come back, I think we should start on you guys going to Malekith's estate, and Maya is there, and maybe y'all will get connected. So yeah, let's take a quick break and come back for more Death and Madness right after this. Stick around.